Welcome back to the Hoops Temple podcast. You all know me, Nathan Schwartz, and joining me, the New York Knicks' biggest fan, Rebound Remy. Rem, how's it
Hi,
going?
thank you for having me. It's going good. How about you?
Going good. Middle of the summer. I'm starting to finally get some sleep with the baby. Just ready to gear up for the NBA season. Basketball is back in less than a month.
I'm counting down the days. I cannot wait. I've been watching a lot of tennis and Premier League, but need some Knicks basketball in my life right now.
Good. Well, that's who we're here to discuss. I want to vibe check. Set aside the offseason, set aside any moves that were made.
Okay.
How did you feel at the end of last season? Were you guys walking away spirits high, or was it a bit disappointing losing to Indiana? Where were we feeling about the Knicks at the end of the year?
I felt good. I don't want to talk for like all Knicks fans because it does suck being a second round exit again. But the fact that we are a second round exit as the Knicks organization is kind of surreal to me. Considering the teams I grew up with and the front office I grew up with. But I think there was nothing we really could have done in terms of Indiana. Like, it was out of our hands. The injuries just kind of like wiped us out. So I'm just praying for health, and I think we're actually contenders going into this year, which is a statement I think I've never said in my entire life. So crazy stuff.
I would agree, and I think we'll get to that in a bit. But first, you guys have had an off season. Some of the biggest moves, not all good. You guys have lost Isaiah Hartenstein, who was a big part of the playoff rotation. Exactly. How would you handle? I mean, I'm sorry,
but no, I'm joking. I'm happy.
Probably your guys' biggest hole right now. I mean, Mitchell Robinson is going to miss sometime. He misses it every year. How would you handle the center position kind of moving forward? And we'll separate this, you versus Thibs. I want to hear your takes first. Oh, Giannis, what are you doing up there, bud?
Giannis after like Giannis?
Oh, yeah. I got to name the cat. Wife named the dogs and child, but I got to name the cat Giannis. So
it's a win.
Small win.
It's a win. Okay. So losing iHeart was definitely a loss, 100%. He brought more of a versatile offensive gameplay than Mitchell Robinson does, to say the least. I think the most underrated part of iHeart's game is his passing, and we're going to miss that a lot. But I think Randle could pick up the slack in that regard when it comes to passing in the paint. Our center depth is concerning, to say the least. I actually checked the depth chart today, and
it's not good.
Our second string center is Precious. Love Precious. Our third string is Jericho Sims. That's how it's looking right now. I don't think it's sustainable for Mitch to play over 25 minutes a game, but knowing Thibs, we'll see how that goes. I think this isn't the final roster. There will be moves before the trade deadline to kind of like cement a better center rotation, hopefully. I don't think we could have paid him in terms of iHeart. Like, he got, I think, what, $29 million? Like, it was a bag, and it was well-deserved. Like, he really stepped up in Mitch's absence. And the Thunder, like, with his rebounding and, like, big body in the paint, it's going to be a game changer, which is scary, but it's okay. I think all we really need is another center who can play minutes and just pick and roll with JB. Like, we don't need that much offensive game from a center, in my professional Knicks opinion. Like, Thibs doesn't run the offense through his big men.
Well, so in that, you mentioned potentially Julius Randle filling in some of that.
Filling in like passing. The playmaking, yeah.
So you're not advocating for Randle at the 5?
No, I am. We haven't gotten to that yet. We're gonna get to small ball.
That's what I was kind of hoping for.
I think in the depth chart, Randle's 4 at center.
I mean, it's either him or Jacob Toppin, and the chances of Thibs ever putting a Toppin on the court are next to 0. So
yeah,
this is kind of what I was wondering, because in my mind, Mitchell Robinson, good pick and roll lob catcher, will defend the rim, will be that rim protection piece that Thibs loves to always have out there. But with Randle, you could go small ball, and it would take a lot for Thibs to embrace it. But I think that makes a
He
lot of
has
sense to
though.
have more shooters out there.
100%.
Has he?
Because our he has. In the regular season, we saw some. I feel like I texted you because we talked about this, and I was like, Thibs has small ball lineup, and like so excited. He's played it before, and even like with Precious at center, I feel like that's small ball. I think he's 6'8", 6'9". 6'9" might be pushing it.
He's not a very big boy.
No. But I can definitely see some small ball lineups, especially if he wants to get like all the Villanova dudes on the floor. Because the starting lineup right now, I'm assuming, would be Brunson at the 1, Mikhail at the 2, OG at the 3, Randle at the 4, and then Mitch at the 5.
Or hear me out.
Where's Debo?
Hear me out. I think we need Dante DiVincenzo out there for some more shooting. I say we shift everybody up. Maybe we bring Mitch Rob off the bench, or maybe we bring Randle off the bench. How are we thinking about Randle being a bench player? Captain that second option.
Unit. I really think he's our second option. I think having Randle on the court like provides gravity that not a lot of players get. Like because he's such a big body, and even like his ISO can be a bit like hit or miss, but just if it's hot and he's doing well and he's driving to the paint, like he's gonna pull up defenders. Like they're not gonna just leave him open, which allows for our shooters to shoot better. Like I know Jalen Brunson, Devo, shot. I know Jalen Brunson for sure shot 40% from 3, around that, with JR on the floor, and then when he was off the floor, he shot like 36, 37. After his injury.
You're against my idea of trading Julius Randle for DeAndre Ayton.
I'm against. I don't want to hear any like trade talks until we see him, until we like see how he looks in this new roster, because we got a glimpse of it after the OG trade in January. Dude was playing the best basketball of his life. He cut his 3-point attempts in half. It was less ISO, more playmaking, more paint-based shooting, which I really wanted to see from him. Like we have shooters now. We don't need Randle taking some threes. Love him though. So I feel like I want to see how he fits right now before I leap to trade him. Because he's cemented as a regular season player. He could play for us in the regular season. Like for now, I guess.
Fair. He does fit really well with the Raptors guys, OG and Precious. They are kind of used to playing with a ball-dominant power forward that doesn't have a lot of range in Pascal Siakam. So, actually, that trio in the front court works out pretty well in my mind.
I think OG himself is just, like, a game changer. Like, his spacing and, like, the 3-and-D he brought has been so great. And when he missed the playoffs, I was actually, like, hurting. I think there might have been tears.
Oh, OG is fantastic. I'm glad he's getting a bigger spotlight.
That's what big market, I guess, does for you.
Yeah,
and contending teams also.
Yeah, having the Raptors is kind of my East Coast team. Like I've loved OG for a while, and it's kind of when there was like the talk of what are the Raptors going to get for him? Could they include him in a Durant package? Like that was respectful, but I don't think that everyone fully knew like what he could do as a offensive option or quite how impactful his defense was, and getting to see it in New York and then seeing what happens when he got hurt and then falling apart to the Pacers. I think it was a huge OG season.
I mean, he signed a bag, so
yeah. Well, so with that bag, I think the minutes are going to get complicated because Thibs has never been a guy that has done great at moderating or mediating minutes, and now you have the 4 Villanova guys. So I want to ask, how much time do you think the best friends club, the roommate quartet, the Brunson, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, and Mikal Bridges will see the court together?
I think it depends on how much Thibs leans into small ball. I think they'll definitely share the court all together at some point in a starting lineup. I don't see it, but I can see like coming off the bench, replacing dudes. Like we have, I think, a lot more options on the bench, and I'm hoping Thibs leans more into not running the starters into the ground in terms of minutes, because we do have like very capable guys who were starting last season, who are expected to come off the bench. I think I was really devastated that we didn't get Arcidiacono back.
He'll be back.
But
I mean, if he's, where's he gonna go? What else does he have going on?
It's not even like a basketball, like, oh, we need him. Like it's like Thibs loves him. But yeah, I think it really depends on the small ball, and I think Thibs will end up leaning into it, considering our center like lack at the moment and how injury prone Mitch can be, and even so, like also fouling out is also another concern. But he's been a lot better at that. Like his rookie year, like the beginning of his career, it was pretty bad, but we've gotten past that a little bit.
I feel like what I'd almost try to do is stagger the Randle-led lineups and go like Randle, OG, Precious, with probably McHale and Brunson out there, or one of those two, and then a bench guy, McBride, for one of them, and then do like the 4 Nova guys and Mitchell Robinson. So you got kind of small guys, but then you've got the big rim protection behind them. Let me just see how that works.
I like that. I'm a fan.
Now I gotta ask, because I'm a Thibs skeptic. He's driven his players into the ground. There's been a lot of injuries. At what point does Thibs have to start looking over his shoulder and worrying that Jay Wright's gonna, get his job?
You're right. I think now that we have new expectations, there is definitely more room for like failure, which comes with the price of being championship contenders. I think New York and the organization and the players, like I've seen Thibs on Josh Hart and like Brunson's podcast, like they love him, and they say like they're the people who advocate playing for Thibs isn't bad, while the rest of the league says otherwise. But in the regular season, I'm not too worried, considering that Thibs is a regular season coach. It's more that I think this playoff run will be a bit of a make or break thing for Thibs, considering he hasn't yet won a ring, and his players have in the past, and including last season, fallen short due to injuries. I kind of view this season for him kind of similar to Michael Malone, maybe like the year that the Nuggets won the chip, because he proved himself as a good coach, but he didn't have a ring behind him. He didn't have like a crazy run to like cement it yet. So that's kind of how I'm viewing it. I think they might look elsewhere if they fall short and like another second round exit happens or something like that.
So if they do fall short, and we're not saying they will, we'll talk about that. But if they do fall short, who's taking more of the blame? Are we firing Thibs, or are we trading Randle?
Well, I think it depends on how Randle plays in the series, if he's still on the Knicks.
Sure.
And I think they'll definitely look at Thibs, because if it's falling short, it's subjective, because if it's falling short due to injuries, they're going to look at Thibs. If it's falling short due to Randle drop in the playoff continuing and like all that stuff, like then they'll probably look at him. I can't say. I wish I had a crystal ball. That'd be really cool. Make a lot of good bets or something. I'd turn to sports betting.
That's what you use the crystal ball for.
Yeah. 100%.
Are you watching any of the Rings of Power?
I'm not.
That's the Lord of the Rings show.
No,
they have the crystal ball.
Do they use it to sports bet, or no, not yet?
They use it to decide to go to war, and it doesn't work out, because like anytime you see the future, you only see part of it, and it tricks you. And,
that's so like being a Knicks fan. That's so metaphorical.
All right. Well, so seeing the future and getting excited, and then feeling let down and tricked.
Yeah. Remember when everyone was like, "Oh, LeBron's coming to the Knicks." I was like that.
LeBron's never going to the Knicks.
I know. I just meant in like 2010.
I still maintain, though, if the Nets had won the lottery, I still maintain if the Nets had won that lottery, LeBron would have ended up as the Net.
Damn. God, can you imagine that career arc? How would that affect LeBron's documentary?
I mean, LeBron would be huge. Brooklyn would be popping.
I think that would like affect Brooklyn more than it affect LeBron. Like Brooklyn would probably be more like less seen as the Knicks' little brother in terms of like how the Clippers are seen. I don't want to like get canceled by Nets Twitter because I have no beef with the Nets. Nets are cool. Ooh, go Nets. I'm trying to be political here for a second. I can go back to being insanely biased. Keep going.
Nah, I mean, listen, when Jay-Z is still talking about the Knicks in his songs while he owns the Nets, you kind of know, like, the little brother status. You gotta fight your way to earning like non-little brother status if you're gonna be in the same market.
Will a whole new stadium fix that?
I think winning is gonna fix that, and nothing short of that.
Yeah. Damn. Clippers are probably really upset about that.
So, what are your expectations for this upcoming season? You were texting me, all excited because Jason Tatum said that the Knicks could get 50 wins.
No, over 50. He said,
and I felt like 50. That was a slight. Okay.
I just mean like that shows. Well, that shows to me that Tatum knows that they're a competitor and he's scared of them, as he should be. You know, that kind of stuff.
He respects them.
Yeah, and like we haven't had that respect for a while, so I'm just kind of like, yeah, like the best player on the best team is saying that, so I'll take it over 50. Like we got 50 last season. The thing is like I don't really care about the amount. This is gonna sound horrible. Don't clip this. I don't care about the amount we win. I care more about the seeding. And last season we had 50 games. We won 50 games like on the dot, and we got the second seed, which is kind of crazy considering that in the West probably would have given us like what, the 5th seed. Like that's a whole like you don't have home court advantage versus you have home court advantage. If the East, if I just want to be one of the top seeds, if that means another 51 season, I'm totally content with that. But I mean, I would love again a full like we just go 72. Oh, be great. Who knows though?
So over under MGM betting line is 53.5. You know all the marbles here betting. For the pod for the clipping.
I'm gonna go over because I'm a Knicks fan, but don't take my words as like a prophecy. Like I don't want people to get mad at me and bet under my name and be like, yo, Rebound Rem told me this. What the heck? Yeah, no. I've learned my lesson from my like broadcasting takes and them being obscenely wrong, but it's okay. I just hope we win games and get a good seed.
Fair. So one of my favorite things to do at the start of the season is to look at each team's like first 10 games. Because like some teams have really easy schedules, and then it's like, hey, how are the Wizards, above 500 through 10 games? It's like because they played the Hornets 4 times and the Pistons twice. He's like, what do you expect? So I sent you over the Knicks' first 10 games, but for the listeners, I'm just going to read them here. You play at Boston, versus Indiana, versus Cleveland, at Miami, Detroit, Houston, Atlanta. Then the Bucks are coming to the Garden, Pacers in Indianapolis, and the Philadelphia 76ers in Philly. How are you feeling about those first 10 games?
I mean, I'm feeling good. I think we could get 6 to 8 out of 10. I think it is like it's not the easiest first 10 games, and I also want to give some leeway because we're going to be adjusting, like having a lot of people come back from injury, adding McHale to the lineup, like people just fitting into new roles, like Randle is second option, or like Devo and Hart coming off the bench, which is like a change from what we had in the season prior. But I think we could get. I would go 6. I'll go 7 because 6 to 8 is 7. So I'll go. I think we get 7 games. I think I really want us to win our first game in Boston. That's like all I've been thinking about recently, like at the ring ceremony, just like a kind of because I watched the our first game last season, which was at Boston as well, and just I'm not sure if it was in. Was it at Boston? I don't remember if it was at Boston, but it was against Boston. And the entire time the announcer was like, "Remember when Porzingis was supposed to lead the Knicks out of?" And I was just like, "Nah, like you don't need to put like a nail in the coffin. Like we're already losing this game, so I would love to win that one, but I am scared of Boston. They are the defending champs. Pacers, I think we could beat. Healthy Cavs as well. Hawks, Bucks, I'm never going to count out Giannis. He's just a scary player. He is Mr. Run and Dunk. And just this, he's probably top 2, I'll say top 3 players in the league right now. And pairing him with Dame, a scary pick and roll combo. Heat, I think we can get. Pistons, I think we can get. And Rockets, I think we can get. Oh, Sixers. Did I mention Sixers? Sixers, I am a little weary. Just whenever Joel Embiid is healthy, I'm weary. That's how I feel about the Sixers. Yeah. The PG move I don't think it moved me insanely, but adding him to a healthy Embiid, just adding anything to a healthy Embiid is not like something I'd love to see as a fan of the East. So love PG though. He's great. If he also needs to stay healthy. So as long as everyone stays healthy, I'm scared.
Yeah, you definitely want to play the 76ers later in the year as opposed to at the start of the year. Like, you catch him in March, Embiid's banged up, maybe he takes a day off. But like, that's a much easier thing. Yeah.
Also, they're probably coming back with like something to prove considering how our series went in the playoffs. So that's definitely something to think about as well. And I've gained like a mass amount of respect for Joel Embiid after that playoff series, despite him like pulling down Mitchell Robinson and all of the other things that went down. I just think he really like proved it, like objectively unbiased, not watching as a Knicks fan, like he proved himself to be able to perform in the playoffs and in a playoff setting. I think that was really big. So.
Okay, well, if you're going to be respectful towards Joel Embiid, I'm going to immediately have to flip the conversation and ask you to be disrespectful. There are, in my mind, 4 title contenders in the East. The Knicks being one of them.
I put my charger back in because my computer is so broken that it will die if it's not plugged in at all times. So I'm listening, but keep going.
All right. So in my mind, there are 4 contenders in the East. There are the Knicks, the Celtics, the 76ers, and the Bucks. I want you to tell me one of the other 3 that you think the Knicks will have the easiest time beating in a series.
Okay, so Knicks, can you repeat them one more time? I'm so sorry.
Bucks, 76ers, and Celtics. Which one do you look at that and you're like, no problem?
I'm going to go Sixers just because we did it. And I think like we know what it takes, and we also did it with a bit of a banged up roster, and we have Mikal, so I'm gonna go Sixers. I would say Bucks, but I again don't want to bet against Giannis. That is something I would not like to do.
Interesting. You're not worried at all about the lack of front court help, or you're just that confident that you're going to get some more front court help before the end of the year?
No, I think we'll get the help.
Listen, Taj Gibson's already rostered somewhere. You guys can't keep.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. But I think we have great defenders. Even so, OG is a great defender. He, especially in isolation minutes. I don't know. I think we could stop. No, I was about to say something that I did not want to. I don't think we can stop. I think we can limit Embiid. I think if you can push Embiid out to more of the 3-point range, it's more winnable, and that's what we tried to do, and it kind of worked. So,
okay,
I think that's the team that out of those three.
I think you're right. Although I do really love how the Knicks match up with the Celtics. Just the Celtics' best 2 players are Tatum and Brown, and they're these versatile wings that most teams don't have guys who can guard both of them. You know, if you've got one good wing defender, you can. Yeah.
We have McHale and OG. Should be easy money. And Josh Hart even held Tatum to some decent. Okay, sorry, keep going.
No, you got to limit those guys. Like, I think it's a myth to ever say like one guy is going to stop another guy, especially when you've got just that supreme of talent. But limiting them, what's how hopeful are you? You know, Knicks see Celtics, everyone's back to full health. Porzingis recovers and is back. What odds are you giving the Knicks at taking down Boston?
50%. I think
50%.
50%. I'm going to stick with that. I think it's an even matchup. Maybe 60-40, like 40 to the Knicks, but I think we have great defenders who can limit their best players. And I think like our hustle, this is going to like, I think the way that the Knicks like perform, especially in the postseason, is because we have such like kind of like gritty, like we'll dive out of bounds for a loose ball. Like we'll give everything. Like Devo, I remember in the last Pacers game in Game 7, he just took over. Like I've never seen like him do something like it was crazy. Mm-hmm. He completely took over and was like, no, we're gonna win this. I don't care if Jalen Brunson's down. I don't care. Like we're gonna win this. And he was making all of his threes, shooting on a high volume. I think we have that kind of like fire, and we want it really bad. And the chemistry is great between the players, and especially now we have like all these Villanova guys who've played before in the past and have won at a high level, even if it was in college. I would give it like 45, 55, 45 to the Knicks, 55 to the Celtics, because I do give respect, like how deep their roster is and just everything about them. Like you have to give respect in that regard. But after Jalen Brunson took the pay cut, it kind of like set into stone, like we're in it for the long haul. Like we can keep our roster together and Boston can't in the years to come. And that's where I'm like, I won't be horribly disappointed if we lose to Boston this year. Like it would suck, but like that's fine, because next year, who can they keep? We can keep everyone. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Boston put everyone under contract and is now selling the franchise potentially to Jeff Bezos. That Amazon money runs deep, you know?
That is true. Tim, I didn't know that about Jeff Bezos.
He's one of the rumored guys to be in it. It's him and like Dave Portnoy, the Barstool guy, which I can't believe Barstool has that much money. He's apparently trying to get a group together.
I just know contract-wise, it would be easier for us to keep our roster together than Boston because of Jalen Brunson's like pay cut and all that. So
fair.
Yeah.
You've been very respectful to these other teams.
I'm not trying. Like,
can I encourage a little bit of disrespect by telling you that a recent guest on the Hoops Temple podcast may or may not have, after the recording stop, said "fuck the Knicks"? Is that gonna rise out of you at all?
No, because I'm assuming it's a Celtics fan. And
I mean, I won't say. I can neither confirm nor deny.
I think the reason why someone would passionately say "fuck the Knicks" is because they're scared of us. Like that's just them projecting some insecurity that they might lose to the Knicks. So
there you go. You heard it here first. Rem says that Celtics fans are terrified of the Knicks, just cowering.
Oh, God, you're trying to. Okay, so true. Honestly,
starting
I often pride myself as a Celtics fan's worst nightmare. There's one tweet that I'm like forever proud of. It's when Jason Tatum did that like no look pass like in transition, like not this postseason but the last postseason. And I remember tweeting, I was like, Milos Teodosic would have made this pass, and I was really proud of that. Love to be a hater.
Surprised you didn't give the love to Alexei Shved, a true Knick.
Oh, hey, after Lynn's sanity, there was Shved's sanity. But I think that like the media
and
before
doesn't want there was Tony Douglas sanity.
The media doesn't want you to know how good Shved is. Like if you look him up, there'll be that one like horrible shot that like went, you know what I'm talking about? That's the only thing that will show up, but no one knows just how good he was. I do though. I do.
Good. I'm glad that someone here can rep for Alexei Shved in this country.
Always.
I feel like the Russians probably have his back. Or is he?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted
He
him
might be
back.
Ukrainian.
I feel like you should look that up. I am not 100%.
Yeah. Okay, he is Russian. The Russians have his back.
Well, I was going to say, he went to play basketball in Russia after the Knicks, and he was only on the Knicks for like half a season. He got traded mid-season. So I remember we wanted him back, and he was like, no, like, see you guys, I'm going back to Russia. Like, good game. Yeah. God.
It happens to the best of us sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it would take for me to want to live in a different country, take less money, and have a smaller role because of the prestige of the company that I was working at. Like, and that's basically what we ask for a lot of foreign players to come to America and be like, hey, listen, you could be a backup on the Knicks, and they're this historic franchise in the best league of basketball, or you can play in your home country, be a superstar, make hella bank, and be like renowned, or you know, super famous in your country. So can't blame Shved.
No, I don't. It's more of a I wish he stayed with the Knicks because I was a fan. But I get it, like, get your bag, stay in your country, like, not stay, but like go to your country, like go back, it's cool. Yeah. Damn.
All right.
Got me thinking about
I got two less. You go.
No,
sorry, I got a little bit of a lag here, so.
Oh, no, you're good. Okay, good.
I got two last questions for you here. One, okay. I assume Jalen Brunson is going to be an all-star. There's no way around it. Brunson.
That's a lock.
Lock. How many other all-stars are the Knicks getting? And like, what are your kind of ranking tiers on them? Does Randle
take the second spot? Brunson. I was thinking about that. I feel like I'd have to give second spot to Randle. I mean, he is an all-NBA, all-star caliber player, and he made all-star, like, he's, what is he, 3-time all-star now?
At least 2. I don't think it's 3.
2 to 3-time, maybe 2. You might be right. Got to give him his flowers, and yeah, I get like the whole postseason like drop talk he often gets, but he is a regular season player. And even after the tour dates he was putting up at the beginning of last season, he turned it around and he ended up making all-star rosters. I think the Knicks fans, though, like, we need to vote. If I have anything to do with it, our whole team is all-star level. You got this. I'm joking. Probably like number 1, Brunson, 2, Randle, 3, McHale, 4, sleeper pick, OG. That's probably where I'm going.
I like it. I feel like any one of those 3 guys after Brunson has a chance at making it. You know, the East is good, but the East, like,
we also have a big
I think the Knicks could easily be over that 50 win. Yeah.
Like, the market does
big
matter.
Market, lots of people voting.
Yeah. And if I have anything to do with it, you're going to see me on socials probably be like, vote Jalen Brunson. I mean, I've posted me on Hinge telling people to vote for Jalen Brunson. So I've always been a big supporter in that.
Will there be a different player for Hinge this year? I think Brunson's a lock now. You gotta go for someone a little bit more challenging. Who are we throwing the
Maybe
sport
I'll
to?
do like a huge curveball and have like Precious. I'll be like, vote Precious for All-Star. I feel like that could be a good, like, see how many votes he gets from my Hinge. I don't know. We'll see.
I thought you were gonna say Dante DiVincenzo, and I'm like, I can
Devo.
see it, you know.
Oh, I
if he
love
plays
Devo.
like he did in the playoffs.
Yeah, oh my gosh, like how we stepped up in the playoffs was crazy. Just like through all the injuries, the fact that we were still able to make series like hard in terms, like, we beat the Sixers and then the Pacers series, like, it was a close series and there were games that we definitely could have won. And that's all because Josh Hart was rebounding like over 10 average rebounds per game, and we got Devo just shooting lights out, and everyone just like stepping up. So I think Devo could be a sleeper pick too. I'm a big Josh Hart girl. So
I think Devo's big game came when they had Ice Spice in the building, and there was how there's always like the Jordan Poole jokes.
That was Emmanuel Quickly.
Oh, was it Emmanuel Quickly?
Yeah, it was like he like completely.
Thought it was Devo.
No, I think I made a video on it. I actually, though, speaking of that trade, my phone case is still RJ Barrett Knicks, so I might have to replace that. We'll see. I've been rocking with it though. I love RJ.
We'll have to get you with just some Raptors airtime. You know, talk about the guys you miss.
Damn, IQ. But McBride has stepped up like tremendously. I think he's in for a very big season. Yeah, so I think that kind of like McBride stepping up helped me more in the loss of IQ more because I've been high on McBride. I was like, yeah, he's cool.
It's like when your dog passes away. You know, the next one doesn't replace him. You still feel the loss, but it helps.
No, that's like a good analogy, but a sad analogy.
I
went to a farmer's market. I went to a farmer's market this morning and I got like dog stickers. So, and one looked like my aunt's like old dog, so I'm gonna be sending that over.
Oh, that's sweet. All right. Well, Remy, I told you to take about a half an hour. We're a little over. One final question here.
Okay,
out of 100%, all the teams, what are the Knicks title odds? It's if you had to 1 to 100% chance.
Boston probably has the highest, considering they're the defending, they're the defending champions, and they have made minimal changes to the roster, but those changes have like helped them because yeah. So I'd give them like 25. Mm-hmm. I'd give us 15 to 20, maybe like 18, because I like the number 8. So we're gonna go 18. I think
18.
Yeah, because the West scares me. Like the West, like it's scary, but I think we can at least I think we can at least get to the Eastern Conference Finals this upcoming season.
Okay.
If we all stay healthy and we figure out the center depth problem, I think we're set. I give us like 15 to 20. That's my final.
All right. 1 and 5, if roughly. Not quite as optimistic as Ian was on the Celtics, but
what did he say?
You know, it's.
Ian
said 100. He said get out of here. He says they're repeating. Just walk out of here. He lowered it to 80 after a little prodding, but the Celtics fans are coming in with a lot of confidence.
I like that. I think that when we prove them wrong, it's going to hurt more, and they'll be better.
I'm so glad.
Like they won't know that they're like, when someone pulls the rug out from under you, like they're not going to expect it, and maybe they won't play as hard. And then here we are.
I'm so glad I could be a part of starting a Celtics Knicks beef between the fans. Not like I started this. I mean, you guys are two of the OG franchises from 46, so funny, 47. Though.
It's just so funny because I went to college in Boston, so I for years have been a Knicks fan living in Boston. So I think and a lot of the time I tend to talk about the NBA with people, and a lot of them tend to be Celtics fans due to the surrounding city that I was in. And I feel like because of that, I've just been like, I've had enough. Your reign, it will be short-lived, hopefully. But I do have a lot of respect for Celtics players. Like, I'm a huge Al Horford girl. Drew Holiday. Woo, go Celtics. Just kidding. I would never say that. That's... Go Knicks.
Do you and the Celtics fans just talk shit about the 76ers together? Is that how you cope with this?
Honestly, I don't talk a lot of shit about the 76ers. I feel like I'm a bad Knicks fan in that regard. I think maybe this, I just feel bad. The process hasn't been going as they have hoped. So I'm just damn, that sucks. We upped out, but that sucks.
I will forever defend the process. It,
No,
some
'cause
teams
in
are
theory,
terrible. Well, in theory, it makes sense, and some teams are just terrible while trying to be good. These guys were at least like, "Hey, we're going to try to be bad, and then get good after being bad." It's like,
and they also just had such bad luck in terms of like the draft picks, like, and also the bad luck draft picks. Like, we know it was like bad now with like hindsight, but back then, like that was the correct pick to make. I'd argue for some of the process picks, so it just kind of sucks.
Yeah. They never should have given up on Drew Holiday. Could have had a Drew and Embiid team and solved a lot of their problems. And if you have that point guard, and you figured out the point guard position, you could have had Tatum. I'm like, Philly messed this one up.
Yeah. I'm no one to talk. I have no room to talk about Knicks and draft picks. So I'm self-aware. Fair. I'll give myself that. I'm self-aware.
Fair.
Like, did I fall for the Kevin Knox Summer League? I will plead the fifth. So we can. It's fine.
Did you know that he has scored in the top 10 points for teenagers in Summer League in NBA history?
I feel like I saw somewhere that he was like back for Summer League, like in a recent, like this past. Yeah,
he was.
Maybe. That gives like reliving the glory days. I'm sorry.
He's even younger, Jason Tatum.
Oh my god, but Jason Tatum's only what, 25?
I'm pretty sure he's still 19, is what everyone keeps telling me.
Damn. Yeah, no, I've heard that. Yeah.
No, I think he's entering his age 27 season.
27. 27, damn. Now watching, I feel like the draft and just basketball in general, I feel old. And I'm not even that old. It's just that, like, damn, like, I watched you in high school, kind of like, gosh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm now getting that, but it's now more, oh, I remember when your dad was drafted.
I can do, like, I watched your dad play. I feel like maybe a little bit. Yeah. Maybe.
And just wait, the Boozer twins are coming.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's true. I think, class of 2025? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just this next year. It's fast.
Crazy stuff.
All right. Well, Remy, it has been great having you on the pod. Can you plug your socials of your, I don't know if you're on Twitter, but plug the TikTok, any writings you do, anything you want the people to know about?
At Rebound Rem on TikTok, Twitter, I believe. I only use Twitter though when I remember it exists, and then I'll log on and say like one sentence about the Knicks game I'm watching, and then it'll be another month until I'm active again. But I'm gonna get more active, so follow the Twitter too. Thank you so much, Nate, for having me. I had a lot of fun, and always love talking about the Knicks. So
we'll have you back, like I promise. But I'm Nate, Nate_HoopsTemple on TikTok. Email the show hoopstemple@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.